Hi, I'm Davina Shemaya, and today I would like to talk to you about how to move from a state of complaining to a state of freedom. And I feel like this is maybe a very, very important video, so please stay tuned. This insight came to me this morning, and the example I thought about was if you had planned a picnic with your friends. So just stick with me here because, yeah, so you planned this, you hadn't seen your friends in a long time and you planned this wonderful picnic and everyone decided what they're bringing and you're going to play some music or, you had this big plan, you're going to go to this beautiful park. And you get there and you spread out your blanket and you get out your food and it starts to rain. And now, if we are, and the natural thing, if you've been brought up by a narcissist, then what we normally do is we are in a state of denial. And so this first phase is the state of the mental suffering and complaining and denial. So it sounds like this. I can't believe it's raining. Our picnic is, why can't we have our picnic? Why did it have to rain? If only it were sunny out. The forecaster said it was supposed to be sunny. It shouldn't be raining. And so all of these shouldn'ts and shoulds and supposed to's are the way of denying reality. And so in that case, you would probably end up just sitting there in the drizzling rain, having your picnic and complaining. And this is what we had to suffer through as children of narcissistic parents. This is how we survived, was just by creating this kind of alternate reality kind of in our mind, like my mother should be loving, my mother should be compassionate. Why isn't my mother listening to me? If only my father were, more empathetic and didn't insult me all the time, so there's all these, if onlys and shoulds going on. And this is the state of denying our reality. And that's how we survived the narcissistic abuse. So denial serves a purpose, it kept us from, truly seeing realities that we were not able to, deal with as a small child. But to get beyond that, if you're an adult now and you're in another narcissistic relationship, or if you're in a job situation or whatever situation, we can get stuck for, days, weeks, months, years, decades in this kind of complaining state where we are just really, we just continue to deny our reality. But it sounds, it's a very fine thing because it kind of sounds like, you're talking about, it sounds like you're a little bit angry, but you're not, you're still in that denial. So you have to move from the denial state into, then you might start getting frustrated. And when the frustration comes up, that's a good sign, because then you're starting to move from complaining to frustration. And then, it's still not fully there because it's kind of a middle state, the frustration part. But what you need to do is take it to the anger. And we're not used to feeling anger as children of narcissistic parents. Anger was not allowed in our house. We were not allowed probably even to show any kind of frustration or annoyance or anything. So, allowing yourself to get angry or even furious can be a difficult and strange feeling in the beginning, because it might feel kind of fake or just unusual, or even just unnatural. But so you want to move into, so again, take the picnic example. You want to go to, I'm feeling so angry, I had this picnic planned for weeks and now it's ruined. It's not fair. The rain is getting our food wet, and the weather, I hate weather forecasts. They're so useless, So now you're getting to the more like you're getting your anger out. And in this anger, if you notice the language, you're starting to accept the reality that it is in fact raining. And this is a key difference between the complaining part and the anger part. Is the complaining, you're locked, you're stuck into that kind of fantasy world. Whereas now in the anger, you're accepting that it's raining and you're pissed off about it. So in this stage, I highly recommend, there's a movie called The Network, and there's a scene called I'm as mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. Pete Walker recommends this in his book. And wow, the first time I saw it, I just like was bawling, like it was a deep, deep release of this anger and grief. And that is the next stage, is the grief. So once you start accessing your anger, you can move into the grief. And now you go to a deeper level, because it's not really about the rain or the forecast. The grief sounds like this: I'm feeling so sad. I hadn't been able to spend time with these friends for so long, and I'd really been looking forward to this picnic. And, so it's really about, you're sad about, you wanted to connect with your friends. You wanted to have, share a nice time. And so now you're able to move into the sadness and the grief of it. And this is the release and the letting go. And that is the letting go part, where you're letting go of what, the difference between how you wanted it to be and how it actually is. And so that's a kind of the allowing state. And by allowing these feelings and this sadness, you're able to then move on, right? This is how we get unstuck and we move on. And now we're able to create something new. We're able to see some solutions that we hadn't seen before. So for example, hey, I have an idea. Let's go to Sue's house. She has that covered patio and we could have the picnic there. We'd still be outside and we could, have a good time. Or maybe you just pack up your picnic and you decide to go to your favorite restaurant. So, using this analogy, you can imagine how this would also be useful in, like, if you're leaving a unhealthy relationship, it's feeling the pain of that situation. I remember before I left my husband, I sat there and wrote down a bunch of shoulds. I wrote down, he should be doing this and he shouldn't be doing this and he should be doing this. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, just wrote like crazy. I don't know, pages of it. And sorry, vacuum in the background. When I was able to let all those things sit with me, and I felt the deep, deep pain of the disappointment and the hurt, then I was able to leave him. It wasn't before that. I was totally in my head, just imagining that things were different, in the if only, should world. So this is a really important distinction to make. And so it's going from the complaining, moving into, frustration, accessing your anger and grieving, and then being able to move on and see new possibilities. And so it's there is a magic to it. There is a magic to what comes out of the grief. Are the magic and the miracles. And just this morning, I experienced one myself as I allowed myself to. I found yesterday when I was coming home from work, I was complaining about my job, and I was just complaining from the time I got off and the time I went to bed. And I thought, oh my goodness, I don't want to be here in this complaining mode. And this morning I got up and let myself feel some anger about it. And then suddenly I got this text from my boss. And anyway, I won't go into the whole story, but it was amazing what happened. So, stick around for the miracles, because they do happen when you're willing to, sit with the pain. That's healing in a nutshell, sitting with the pain. So I hope this was helpful for you today. And if you have any questions or comments, please write down, let me know below. And I am Davina Shamaya at Boldness Blooming, wishing you many, many blessings of peace and ease on your journey of healing and awakening. And you can find me, yes, at Boldness Blooming. Thanks for watching.